come out of the toilet. Have you just had a shit in there? And it's like, what do you want? What do you want me to... Where?
Because I've probably just cleaned it.
Where?
I've probably just cleaned it.
So, after you clean the toilets, how long until someone's allowed to have a shit again?
A couple of days at least.
A couple of days. And I'll put a carrier bag in the toilet, I'll put it round the seat and stuff, and I'll shit into the carrier bag, and then I'll lift that up and tie it up, and I'll carry it round with me until I'm half a mile away from the house. Those two old guys, they don't know. They don't know what's going on, man.
They don't get how I feel about that.
When I'm old enough, I'm gonna...
Like, I know that those are the thoughts in his head. And I want to, like, sometimes shout after him, like, I can hear you! Oh dear. Oh no. What are you messing with before we start?
Well, I don't want to do it during, do I? Clever clogs. Are we rolling? I'll destroy you. What did Harrison say to me last night and then he ran away?
You'll pay for this.
Oh, yeah.
You'll all pay for this.
Anyway, hey, this is it. This is a podcast. Welcome to the Buckleys, the podcast where we sit down, have a chat, moan a bit and invite you into our lives. Before we do... Got beer noises.
Yeah.
Before we do get into it, I just need to remind you, you can get in touch with your stories and questions for us by emailing thebuckleys@platformmedia.uk or send us a message at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. And don't forget, this is the important bit. If you do like us, if you do enjoy this, make sure you're following or subscribing to the show on Spotify or whatever podcast app you like to use. And if you do like the show, give us a good review, a glowing review. Take you 10 seconds to do it, and it would make a lot of difference to us. We just do a little podcast. We're just the little guys. We're just the little guys, aren't we?
Not according to the charts,
Well,
baby.
we're trying to take on the big guys, aren't we? So, come on. Claire, as I live and breathe. I was about to ask you, what have you been up to this week? What's the answer to that question that's interesting enough to put into a podcast?
I know, well, we ask each other that every week, but we're together all week.
I went for dinner a couple of days ago with the boys.
Oh.
People might be excited.
Not our boys.
The Inbetweeners.
The boys.
Haven't
Do you know
seen
how
each
you...
other, haven't all been together in the same room for so long.
Yeah, no, the four of you,
Yeah.
Do you know how you
And Ian and
always
Damon.
say how I know it's the in-betweeners you're talking
Go
about?
on.
Like if you're chatting to them or you're going to see them, you always say the other boys.
The other boys.
That's how I know who it is.
Yeah, managed to have a little dinner together.
Yeah, he's
Got
dead.
us all together. It was great. It was so nice seeing them. I know that people are still asking if we're going to do more in-betweens. I'll just say this. We planned this dinner last summer.
Oh my God.
We could have had just 3 of us or just 2 of us. Like, we wanted to get all
Everybody.
of us. And it's taken us a good half a year to have an evening.
That's just being an adult and having kids and minute.
It's rubbish.
Yeah. Well, did you talk about anything interesting?
We've got big plans, mate.
Oh.
Big plans. The Inbetweeners anime series
You wish.
that's coming out.
You would love to do that.
Would I?
Yeah, I'm sure you've mentioned that to me before. Like a sort
I
of
said
like
an-
adult, like Family Guy style.
Yeah, like a cartoon.
Yeah.
But this would be anime.
Oh,
This would be like sort of, we're all drawn like we're Pokemon or something.
right.
That was one of the ideas that we threw out. Inbetweeners boat trips.
Like you guys host
Yeah,
the
we
boat
host a boat
trips.
trip.
Right.
Um,
Where? What stretch of water would
just
this...
in the estuary, Thames estuary, just around sort of Southend and
Right.
Grays.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, we never really did the merch thing.
No.
We spoke about that. What
Yeah,
was
you
it?
could do
Last
some-
podcast or the episode before?
There he is. He's up there.
Yeah, that was as far as that went.
You could do something funny like
Do you remember?
condoms or something.
Well, this is what I was going to tell you.
Oh.
Do you remember that was a suggestion?
No.
There was a point, and to be fair, because all 4 of us are so fucking miserable, we let this slide, right?
Let it slide.
Years ago, they were like, right, we want to, we want to cash in.
Right.
We're not making any more, but we got to keep the money coming in.
Yeah.
And they were like, can we do, like, the ideas was fucking awful, man.
What
And
was
it was J condoms. They were like, can we put your face on a condom?
Did you say no?
Of course I did. Because also, what if one of them doesn't work? Am I liable?
You're liable. Do you have to pay child support?
Yeah. Do I adopt the child? But that was genuine. It was one of those, it wasn't even a
like
meeting.
throwing stuff at.
We didn't even have a meeting about it. It was a group email.
Right.
None of us get excited about that sort of thing.
No. And I bet people think, because you boys have got, a WhatsApp group and stuff. And I bet
if that ever...
people...
If any of us boys lose our phone, we're fucked. We're finished. We are absolutely finished.
Well, what I was going to make a different point, because I was going to say, I bet people would be like, oh, I'd love to look in on that WhatsApp group. But aren't you all just gone, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not doing that. Are you doing that?
That's pretty much.
Yeah. Did they talk to you about that? I'm not doing that.
We've been asked to do this. Does anyone fancy it? Not me. No, me neither.
Anyway, but did you have fun? Did you have a nice night?
Oh, it was so good. Just talking about the old days. It was brilliant.
And you were quite late home.
I suppose. It was late for me.
Yeah. I was getting a bit worried about you.
Quarter to midnight.
Yeah, it was midnight. I heard you stumbling upstairs.
Wasn't drunk.
No, I know.
So, Joe Thomas was drinking non-alcoholic beer.
Right.
Blake was drinking Diet Coke. It was me and Simon Bird on the old vino.
You had some wine, did you?
Yeah, red wine, yeah.
Of course you did.
He can't drink anything fizzy.
Why?
Don't know. He just can't. Simon Bird can't drink anything fizzy. Doesn't like it.
Okay.
Doesn't like it. Do you want to know something weird about Simon Bird?
Always.
Something really, really weird?
Go on.
This will make some headlines. This is going to freak people out.
Uh-oh.
He only eats the yolks of eggs.
Really?
He doesn't eat the white bit. Now, usually if people are fussy with eggs, they'll have the white bit.
Yeah.
Because the yolk is the bit that tastes of anything.
Yeah.
He can't stand the white bit. He'll only eat the yolk. So if he has a fried egg, I'm thinking about a cooked breakfast now. I'm getting hungry. Full English or something.
Yeah.
If he has a fried egg, he'll cut the yolk
around.
out and leave the...
I mean, that is the best bit. You only eat the white because you have to.
I like all of the egg. I'll take it all, mate.
Except...
I don't care what colour.
The Haribo fried eggs, the white bit's the best.
I don't really like Haribo. I don't really like sweets.
I love sweets.
Jelly sweets. Made of dog fat.
Delicious. I got a packet of Chewits.
No, it's made of cow fat though, isn't it?
I got a packet of Chewits on the way in this morning.
You did get a packet of Chewits. What a stupid thing to buy. What?
Do you want to get started on... Right, well, hold on, before I start moaning...
Yeah.
Because you really were annoying me this morning.
What? What was I doing?
Are you done with your Inbetweeners shite?
That was it. That was all I got up to this week. That was the only slightly thing that was interesting. I met up with some guys that I haven't seen for a long time.
Well, this morning, James decided, there's little sort of shops in the tube stations.
Yeah, kiosks.
Kiosk?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
You bought a packet of pistachio nuts.
Love them, mate.
I know you love them.
Love them. There's a shortage as well.
But my God, I had to say to you about 3 times on the tube today, I was like, do you want to relax? You were eating them as if somebody was timing you. As if somebody was going to take them off you. And there's people, and he was so unaware. And there was people across from him. There was a young woman who had recognised you. And she, I saw her recognising you. And so she was kind of looking at you. And he was doing, he had his face really close to the package. And he was like, I was like, relax.
Right, listen.
And you were being dead loud and you looked like
I was,
somebody wasn't it right?
I agree with you. I was sort of, snuffling them away a little bit. But in my defence, they're a complicated nut, is the pistachio. Okay? It's not something you can eat while walking. You've got to be sat down. You need both your hands. You need to concentrate on what's going on. All right? I only had however many stops it was to make sure
there was plenty. So you didn't have to finish the bag.
I finished them the stop before we got off.
But you didn't
so
have
I timed
to
it
finish
brilliantly.
them.
Yes, I did. What was I going to do?
Put them in your pocket for
Claire,
later.
if I was sat here now and I knew I had half a packet of pistachio nuts still in my pocket, in my coat, I wouldn't be able to concentrate.
And then you were licking your finger and rustling about and then going back
into the salt at the bottom.
But it was how you were sitting. You were like this.
Yeah, I was hunched over a little bit, sure.
Like you looked mental.
Also, there's, like I say, there's opportunity for him to pop out and go everywhere. So you got to keep everything close.
And it was how fat, and you weren't just going. It was like.
I was breathing as well. Sometimes you got to breathe while you eat.
You're winding me up. So I had to say to you a couple of times, I was quickly, like, James,
sometimes you got to eat and breathe through your nose, so it becomes a bit like that.
Well, it was really irritating me.
I couldn't tell. I won't repeat what you called me.
Did I call you?
I can't repeat it, Claire.
Oh, okay.
Highly offensive.
Oh, okay. Anyway, cheers.
Cheers, mate. Cheers. Have I got anything to moan about? Yes. And it's you. So you've had a go at me. Now it's my turn. I'm going to flip it.
Away you go.
I'm flipping the table. Right? When I come out of the bathroom, when I come out of the loo at home, in our own house, in my home, where I am the king of the castle, are you listening to me?
I'm listening.
Stop asking me if I've just had a shit when I come out the toilet. As if I've just done it on the dining room table or something. I come out the toilet and you go, have you just had a shit in there? And I'm like, where am I supposed to have a shite? No, but seriously, I'm like, what? What do you want? Like, you have a go at me for having a shit in a toilet.
I think, are you talking about the downstairs toilet? Because I do have a
I
go
never
at
use.
you.
No,
Stop pointing your wee finger
I will
at
point
me.
my finger at you, because if we're going to start having a go at that, you've been using the downstairs toilet for number twos recently, and it's not on. Anyone could come round at any minute and they go, oh, can I just quickly pop in the toilet?
Guess what? I'm allowed to
And they're
shit.
not
I could shit in the dining room table
And
if I
they're-
wanted to.
and they're not
Guess
gonna think
what?
it's you.
Because I clean the dining room table.
They're not gonna think it's you.
I clean the toilets.
That's fine.
So
That's
I can
fine.
do whatever
I'm
I
not
want.
making you clean the toilet.
What? So you don't want them to be clean?
You're a toilet.
Hold on. You just said a minute ago, oh, if somebody comes round, they can go in the downstairs
The
toilet.
downstairs toilet, sure.
So I need to clean that one?
Yeah, if you could. We need to keep that one clean. Because
I clean them all.
Because someone would come round and like just pop round and say, oh, can I quickly use the loo? And you go, yeah. And say if you've had a turnout in it, and I'm not being funny, Claire, they are eye-watering.
Get off.
But you wouldn't think it. You wouldn't think that creates. But she does. She can really clear out a room. And they'll come out and be like, oh, he's just had a shit in there.
Mm-hmm.
They won't ever think it's you.
No.
So stop doing that. But also stop, like, have you just had it, like...
I don't even know what you're talking about.
You
I
do
don't
it to
remember
me. You
this.
do it to me all the time. I made a note of it straight away. I was like, I've got to bring this up.
Good. We'll keep
I've
making
got to
your
bring this up.
notes.
Come out of the toilet. Have you just had a shit in there? And it's like, what do you want? What do you want me to... Where?
Because I've probably just cleaned it.
Where?
I've probably just cleaned
So,
it.
after you clean the toilets, how long until someone's allowed to have a shit again?
Couple of days at least.
A couple of days.
That would be ideal. Go at the back door in Paisley's Pen.
Paisley's Pen.
Cosmo. Aww. Aww.
But yeah, just stop. Leave me alone if I've had a shit.
All right. I don't even know what you're talking about. I think I've maybe asked you that a couple
No,
of
you
times.
do it all the time, Claire.
All right.
Okay.
Next.
Just a quick one, this one.
No, is it I?
It's
Really straightforward.
I don't think I'm going to get anyone on board with me with this one. Sometimes I like to do stuff where I'll be like, yeah, I bet a lot of people will agree with me. I think this is just something I've created in my head.
Go on.
But I've got a new sort of irrational hatred.
I could get on board with this.
And it's come from where I get all my source of hatred from, social media. I just want to stop the word normalise.
Let's normalise.
Yeah, can we?
Let's
guys,
normalise shitting in the downstairs
yeah,
toilet.
exactly. Yes, yeah. Well, so let's not. But it is. It's always like.
I know what you're
can
saying.
we just normalise cleaning windows with sheep turds? I don't know, but it's always like.
Yeah. It's kind of, well, this is a carry on from your cheeky. No, casually.
casually. Yeah,
So it's another
absolutely,
one
yeah.
of these.
Yeah, guys, can we just normalise this? Because this is so great.
Can we just normalise going to bed at 8 p.m?
And it comes from such a smug point of view.
Yeah, you've already
It's
normalised it. You don't need anybody
exactly.
to tell you.
Guys, can we? I do this, and it is brilliant, and I think we should just normalise it because I'm so great,
do they do
and
this?
I've come up with this.
Do they do this?
They do that. That's the smug head movement. Yeah. Right. Enough now.
Right.
Enough.
No,
Enough.
I'm
I
fine
don't
with
want to
that.
have a go at anyone now. I'm just saying, stop it now, and
You'll let it
I
go.
will let it go.
Okay.
If it carries on,
You naming
some
names?
people are going to start getting hurt. But I don't know if anyone else finds that irritating.
No, I do.
And I got to be honest, I don't know why it makes me so angry.
You get overly angry about stuff. You do.
I don't think so, Claire.
You do. I saw you watching something on the train today on the way in, and I had my headphones in. I was busy. I was watching something. You had your headphones in. You were watching something. I glanced over, and you had started scrolling through Instagram reels.
Yeah.
And you were watching a video where it said something like, what I do when a snowstorm's coming.
Oh, yeah. That fucking wound me up.
I know it did. Right. Now, I could see that you were on board with the first one, because even I saw the first one and I thought, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
She filled up a massive big plastic water bottle and then got a little torch and taped it to the top.
Yeah.
And it
so
lit
it sort
up
of
and it was a
reflects
little
the
lantern.
light, and it became like a sort of lamp in the
Right,
house.
and I could see James and he was on board, so because usually he's a scroller.
Yeah.
I thought he's watching that, he likes that, so he kept going. Then she started pissing about with candles and trays and stuff, and I seen this at the corner of my eye, and going. But he held on, and then I can't remember the next thing, but something else came up. And
just
then
for listeners there, Claire
like
did an impression of me shrugging and shaking my head.
Just a little like. Then something else came up, and then it was a big shake. Then you were like,
yeah. It was the candles being put into the
and
cupcake baking tray.
I thought,
and
look
was like,
at him.
What are you doing now?
He was getting so annoyed that you could visibly see. Who does that?
I didn't know I was.
Oh, I know you don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed
That was irritating.
watching you did that.
I do. I get invested in stuff. I get emotionally invested in things. Okie dokie. It's time now for one of our regular features called Weird Rituals.
Weird rituals. Dun, dun.
There you go. Just chucking in jingles everywhere.
Loved it. I just like the panic on their face when we're like, hold for the jingle. They're like, fuck.
This was something that I asked for from the listener a few weeks ago. We were talking about how I like to try and create the perfect
Yes. Toothpaste swirl. Yeah.
And we've got 2 butter ones.
2 butter ones?
Butter-related weird rituals.
Okay.
This is where we discuss people's weird rituals they find themselves doing for no reason. Gav has written in.
Gav.
He says, my ritual is similar to what James was saying about trying to get the perfect swirl with his toothpaste.
He wants the roll.
Well, there was an injury. There was a toothpaste injury a couple of weeks ago.
Hold that thought, Gav.
I was trying to get it on the thing all
Do you
nice.
do it every time?
Well, I try and get like a nice, something that looks nice.
You don't just...
No. But I tried to sort of like clip it off.
Okay.
And obviously bristles of a toothbrush. I went like that and neat, pure toothpaste flicked in my eye.
God, I bet that was dramatic.
And I was like, ah!
Yeah, I bet you were.
All I was trying to do was brush my teeth. I thought I'd gone blind. Anyway, Gav says, I try and do something similar, but with butter. You always see them get the perfect curl on their knife in the adverts.
Yeah, you do.
I think we all do that, don't we?
No, I don't.
I do all the time. It never works.
No.
You always see them get the perfect curl on their knife in all the adverts. Has anyone ever achieved this in real life? I'm 35 and have been trying to do it my whole life. I think a little bit of me dies every morning when it doesn't happen. I try and do that, but what happens to me is it doesn't curl. It just keeps going up.
Yeah.
And then it like flops over the knife and then I lose that bit and then I'm like, it never curls, sort of like, you know, when you get those
I'll tell you what
if you go to an ice cream store and they do like
I tell you what you do with the butter, which annoys me.
Go on, what do I do with it?
You go like a fresh pack of butter. You go down into the butter on one side rather than swiping across.
Yeah,
I'll open the butter and there's just like the first like quarters. I'm like, who you swipe?
Because
you don't dig.
I've given up on the.
You dig.
I've given up on the swirl.
It's absolute sacrilege. I hate it.
I've given up on the swirl. So what I do is I get a chunk and then I spread it on the lid a little bit so that it becomes a bit more spreadable.
I showed you that.
Yeah.
I remember
it's
you
great, yeah.
blew your mind.
I was like, that's genius. So now I just get a chunk and I do that.
Yeah, but you still spread.
Because
I hate that.
Like,
big chunks
I don't know what I'm doing,
it.
Claire, all right? I don't know what's going on with butter, but I try and do the swipe, but it doesn't stick to the knife. It flops back into the thing. And then I can't, and then I do end up trying to dig it out and stuff. So now I just get a chunk. I just go in at an angle, get a chunk, pull that out, plop it on the thing, get it a bit spreadable.
Then you mess up everybody else's thing.
Hey, I'm very considerate when it comes to spreads. And I tell you who isn't.
Who?
People in your family. We had them all down for Christmas. When they effed off, I thought, I'll make myself a nice little ham sandwich from some leftover Christmas ham. Opened up the butter, full of fucking crumbs and bits of toast. And yeah, because that's what I want, some old food in my butter. When I'm spreading butter, I take a bit of kitchen towel, kitchen paper. Do a spread. If I haven't got enough and I need to go back in, I wipe. I do the same with mustard, the same with peanut butter. Wipe the knife and then go back in.
Yeah.
It was a disgrace.
Yeah.
Black bits, crumbs and everything in the butter.
Now you know how I feel when I go into the toilet after you've used it.
What am I supposed to do? Shall I...
You could wipe it after if you look down and go, oh God, I've shit all over the fucking inside of that there.
I'll tell you what I'll do,
yours,
Claire.
while it's still soft and wet, you could go, let me wipe that off.
I'll tell you what I'll do for you,
No,
Claire,
I'll just leave it till it dries it's crusty and it'll take us 3 hours to clean it.
I'll start taking carrier bags into the toilet.
That flicks up on my face. And
I'll put a carrier bag in the toilet. I'll put it round the seat and stuff, and I'll shit into the carrier bag, and then I'll lift that up and tie it up, and I'll carry it round with me until I'm half a mile away from the house, and then I'll get rid of it.
Okay.
All right? Is that what you want?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll do that. Yeah, Gav, I think we all agree that we all try and get that perfect swirl with the butter. Can't be done. Cannot be done. How do they do it in those adverts? Trickery, camera trickery. Catty has also got in touch with us here. She says, my odd ritual is that when I butter toast, I use the other end of the knife and jab the toast to make a few indents in the toast.
What?
Hang on, I don't even understand what I've just read there. I think I only do it because I saw my dad do it once, but I think it makes the toast absorb the butter better.
So before she spreads, she uses the bottom of the knife.
She's pricking the toast.
And puts some dents in the toast, then spreads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, why don't you use a fork?
Well, because you don't want holes in it. You just want dents. I'm assuming she wants like it to sit in, like little buttery blobs.
Oh, pushing dents into it. I thought she was sort of like.
That's what I took.
Like sometimes with chicken or something like that, if you're using a marinade or something, you'd prick the chicken with a fork so that it could get in.
Stop saying prick.
It's one of my favourite words, prick.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
That's
and
odd,
also, by the way, her name isn't Katia.
I didn't say Katia. No one said Katia.
Oh, didn't you?
No, I said Catty.
Did I?
Never once said Katia.
All right, what's your problem? You've been on me since we got in here.
Hang on a minute. You accuse me of something that I didn't do.
I was just correcting
and I say I didn't do it.
Right, but I thought but I said it in a nice way. Then you're jumping down my throat.
Whoa. Let's get off this pressure cooker for a second. I didn't say Katia. I'm ever so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry that you thought I said Katia, but I didn't. It was my mistake.
Thank you. Get on with it.
That's it. You spoiled that. You ruined that for me. I love weird rituals, and I was hoping it would be something that we would take off.
That one's shite. What's that
was
about?
shit, and that was weird, Catty. And you might.
Also, is it Katie with 2 T's?
It's Catty. Katty.
I've never seen that before.
I've not either, but that's what that says.
Look at how you're talking to me.
No, I'm as angry as you, Claire, with Catty's contribution. All right, Catty, believe me, your dad showing you how to do toast wasn't the worst thing he did for you. Catty. Catty isn't a name, is it, really? Let's face it. That's what women do when they get together and talk.
Nothing against women.
Nothing against women.
But they are bitches.
They do bitch a bit. Hey, Claire, that's enough of that. Let's move on to something else. That's a good segue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Claire, I don't know about you, but I forgot that our podcasts have sort of themes and stuff that we're supposed to talk about.
And it's not butter.
I can't believe it's not butter, to be honest with you, Claire.
Hey!
No, this week we're supposed to be talking about parenting.
Oh.
And it's and just when you thought we couldn't get lazier with this podcast, because all we do is ask the listener to write in and we react off of that. Our theme for this week's podcast is a listener suggested one.
Oh, they're getting so annoyed that they're sending in themes for us to talk about.
Molly got in touch with a theme suggestion, so I saved the producers some work there. Which they're really happy. Look how pleased they are. So I guess if you've got a whole, if you want to produce this podcast, you can now just do it. Just write in, just go, I think they should talk about this, and here's some suggestions, and apparently that's what we'll do now. So Molly got in touch. She said, what about exploring parenting styles as a theme? For example, how James and Claire raise their sons today and what it was like for them growing up with boomer parents. Boomer parents? Are our parents boomers?
No, my parents were quite young when they had me.
No. Well, yeah, my parents were young as well. But is early 60s boomer? Is 60s
my dad's 63.
Right,
so my dad's a boomer.
My parents
are
boomers.
My mum's not.
Growing up in the 90s. So growing up in the 90s, I love talking about the 90s. Good time to be alive. So glad that I was even just a child, just to be on the peripheral, just to see what was going on was brilliant. And it wasn't that much like growing up in the 90s, 80s and 70s was pretty much the same.
Do you think?
Yeah, the
90s weren't the same as the 70s.
It was the ideals. Remember in 1990. Do some quick maths for me, Claire. What's 90 take away 45? 45. So in 1990, the Second World War only finished 45 years ago.
Right.
So if you were born at the end of the Second World War, you were 45.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was still that, even in the 90s, I still felt that post-war mentality. No, honestly, genuinely, do you know, you must have got that. I don't know if it was just...
No.
I don't know if it was just because where I grew up, it was very much... The Blitz was like a part of your DNA, and
but I'm from Scotland.
We did play in bomb
not...
shelters and things like that.
No.
And
no, we were wearing Adidas and eating Kellogg's and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the mentality. Your mentality. I grew up in a factory town. You did as well.
Yeah.
And it was just, if you do well at school, there might be a job for you across the road.
Yeah.
But the 90s was great. It was simpler times. Absolutely brilliant. But it, parenting, I do think parenting worked.
I think the big...
I try and talk to my kids now.
Yeah.
Like I used to get a smack. Mm-hmm. You would.
I didn't so much. My gran would do a slipper off the back of your leg sometimes, but not.
I don't think I
got
any tools. I feel like the slipper is harsher.
It shouldn't do it hard.
Not
all the time.
Open palm. My arse was going to be red raw.
I got the threat. Was a threat. Oh, I got the threat.
And sometimes it was. Which nowadays...
I'm sure I did when I was little.
Sounds like a weird thing to say to a child, I'll be honest with you. But I fucking behaved.
Yeah. Yeah.
I did behave. And any time I did get a smack, I can look back and be like, well, I was being cheeky. We've never hit our kids.
No.
I'm going to be honest with you. I've not got it in me. Now, we talk to our children, don't we? We want to, why are you doing this? Don't do that. You shouldn't do this. Here's why you don't do this. And we explain why, right? We've got no respect. We've got no respect at all whatsoever.
That's not
When
true.
my dad told me to do something, I just did it. Because if I didn't, there'd be a consequence.
I tell you what though, one of them doesn't ask questions. One of them's quite well behaved.
Jude,
and if you say don't do that, here's why you don't want to do that, it's all right, fine. Yeah. Okay, mum, okay, dad. Yeah. The other one, but I wasn't doing but I was doing it and did it, and you're like, mate.
Yeah, it's got to the point now.
But he's becoming a teenager though, so we're getting the attitude.
Hang on. All right, because he didn't have any of this before he was a teenager.
No, yeah, he's always
my argument with Harrison these days is he's old enough, and I can't be bothered to have a debate. It's not. I just want him to do what I tell him to do.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
He doesn't, and even when you explain to him why, because I'm constantly saying things like this to Harrison. I'm not asking you to do this for no reason. Yes. I promise you there is a reason. Yeah. And then it's like he injures himself or something. And I go, that's why. That's why I was saying. Yeah.
Do you know what I think? The point we're at right now with Harrison especially, he's a teenager, he's 13, very early teen years. But I know, because obviously I remember being that age, right? And I know for a fact that whenever we've spoke to him about something, or we've got like a bit annoyed at him at something, and we, either one of us or both of us, like sort of sit him down to talk or whatever, and you just get the, okay. Yeah. I know that when he walks away and goes to his room or wherever he goes and shuts the door, I know in his head he's thinking, couple of pricks. Yeah. Hate them. Talk so much shit.
Old guys, they don't know. Like, they don't know what's going on,
They don't
man.
get how I feel about that and why I did it, but they don't care why I wanted to do it.
When I'm old enough, I'm going to...
Like, I know that those are the thoughts in his head. And I want to, like, sometimes shout after him, like, I can hear you!
Yeah.
I think
to be fair on our kids, though, none of them are problems.
No.
They are good boys. With Harrison, it's just the...
It's just the tood, man.
It's just the very typical, you seem a bit ungrateful. We don't want you to seem spoiled. Remember what goes into you getting this stuff and that stuff that you have to do with 99% of all kids. Yeah. They've never been in trouble.
He's never done anything.
They've never been in any proper trouble at all whatsoever. But that's no excuse. You don't start letting them away with things. The reason why our kids are good boys is because of the way we are.
We do stay on top of them.
We're on them.
We
see something that we don't like, we're like, right, stop that. You cannot behave like that. Yeah. That's not on.
Yeah.
Because our responsibility is to make sure that we raise two nice young men that can function in the world.
But then I think on the other end of our parenting in particular is that we do that, and we can really sort of like come down on them and be like, that ain't happening again. I don't ever want to see that, hear that, whatever. But then we also have a very laid back way of parenting, I would say, where we talk to the boys and we have a laugh with them, and they probably say, well, they do. They say stuff in the house in front of us that they would never say outside. Oh, yeah. Like if they're, being funny, they'll maybe drop a little swear word in, even though they're only 11 and 13. Yeah. But like it's all they're clever about it. They're done in the right way, and
if they were to say anything like that in public or outside the house, and stuff, no, I know
but that's the thing. So we can laugh about that and probably seem quite laid back to them.
Yeah, we can trust them with stuff, and we can understand that they also understand what's going on. Yeah, but the problem, I suppose, with a 13-year-old now is that some days it can feel like you are just... Because like I say, we don't want to give them too much leeway because they've got to be nice people. That was always our thing. We both always agreed with that. We don't want them to be the smartest or the fastest or,
No.
the best at this, that. We want you to be the nicest.
Mm.
That is really, really important. And I genuinely think it's important to this day. Like I've worked with loads of people in what I do in my industry, and my industry can attract some fucking nutcases. I always think I'd rather work with the nicest person than maybe the most talented or the best actor.
If it's a nightmare.
I'd rather have fun and enjoy what I'm doing and come into work and know that I'm going to be around nice people than maybe someone that's going to win an Oscar or something, but it's a fucking nightmare to work with.
Yeah.
I've got no time for you. There's no need for it. If you want to do that, good luck to you, and well done. You're selfish. You're really, really selfish.
Yeah.
You're ruining it for everyone else just so that you can get what you want. That's no good. Not for me.
I think as well, like parenting.
Not sure, 100% sure what point I was trying to make.
That's all right. I tried to move on. I was saving you there, but you had to bring it back.
No, but I sort of felt like I might have had to have addressed that.
The other thing as well with parenting now, like what we do compared to how we were parented, I would say as well as you do try and be a lot more involved, because I think parenting
I was just left to get on with it.
Yeah.
And I say this to the kids all the time. Like when you're helping them out with homework and stuff like that. Because that's just a thing that parents do now.
You feel like you have, well, you don't feel like you have.
I just go,
we're forced
the amount
to be
of times,
good
the amount of times that I've said, I've done all this.
I know.
I did all this already. I've done all this. I did my school. And yes, it was rubbish. It was shit. And I hated it as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't get any help or anything. I'm like, my mum and dad never asked me what homework I've got. I just had to get on with it. I knew what I had. And that's another thing. Maybe kids these days don't have enough
responsibility
or enough about them to just take on responsibility. As soon as I was in secondary school, I never once. I had my homework diary, and I knew what I had to do when I got home.
Yeah,
I never once.
I feel more.
My parents never said, "Oh, have you done that homework?"
I feel more like that, sure, but also just being involved. Like, how are you feeling? How was your day? Is this okay now? Is that all right? Like
That's
nobody, but nobody asked us that.
No one did. No,
and we didn't share it. I would never go home and be like, "Oh, I need to talk to you about something that happened." Like, never.
No, I got home from school.
But I like that our kids will come home and
ripped off my school uniform, put an Umbro tracksuit on. It was like,
Slazenger.
All right, Mum. Bye, Mum.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I'd come home for tea.
I'll tell you one thing.
And then I'd go to bed.
That I'm very glad that our kids don't do, and that we have not, even though Harrison's 13, I think we're right, but we have not even entertained it.
Drugs.
Drugs.
Hard Class A drugs. And we're so proud of them.
Social media. Our kids have not been anywhere near social media. And for the long foreseeable future, as long as they're under my roof. I just don't want them getting.
It's unnecessary.
I don't want them getting that into their little brains. And
I've only got it because it's a part of my business model.
Sure.
A part of what I do for a living.
Yeah.
If I didn't,
we're the kind of people. Maybe it's a generation thing. I feel like we can switch off from it. I can put my phone down. And, have dinner and watch a bit of telly, and we can have a beer and have a chat. I feel like people who, not too far below us age-wise, have been brought up where, and it was just a constant, and they find it difficult to switch off for it.
Maybe, yeah. I do find it difficult to switch off.
Do you?
Not from social media, but just
that's what I mean.
Specifically, but from everything. Like, our mate Joe Suggy.
Mm-hmm.
So he did a vlog, I think it was during the year last year, it might have been the year before, where he went away to this place and he went on his own. It was just a cabin in the woods, and you leave your phone and everything for like
I'd love
3-4 days.
Oh,
and
beautiful.
there's books there. There was a cassette player with all loads of cassettes and stuff. And then you go and chop your firewood for the evening and stuff like that. And I think I'd be so bored.
I'd
just be like, man, this is...
I don't know. because the
After
other
you've
week.
chopped firewood for 10
No,
minutes.
the
you're
other
like,
week when we were talking about when we went to that Airbnb and it was just the fireplace and it was just quite quiet.
but I brought my little Game Boy thing with me.
So
and
you're not
stuff,
allowed
and-
that? Are you allowed a telly?
No, there's no telly.
Oh.
This is what I'm talking about.
Ooh. Well, I'm of the generation where we put the telly on.
You got, but yeah, we were brought up by TV.
Yeah. That's another thing as well that's really different. The stuff we watched. The films we were allowed to watch when we were 10, 11, 12.
The thing I always bring up is when we watch Twins.
We've put Ace Ventura. We've put stuff on where
That
obviously
was rude, though.
Yeah, but we haven't
Yeah, but
seen
it's-
it for 20 years.
No, but
And we're like, oh, the boys will love this. We'll all sit down, we'll do it. And then like 10 minutes in, you're like,
I was about
shit,
about 8 years old.
Should we check this?
I was about 8 years old when me, and by the way, this wasn't like my parents bringing me up badly or anything.
No, that was
it was
whatever
me
you did.
and every single person my age watched was Ace Ventura.
Yeah.
And there's like blowjob jokes in it. And she's like, at the very beginning of the film, it's like, oh, how can I repay you? And she's like, well, and he goes like, well, no, he goes, well, cash would be nice, which is a funny joke because that's his job. And then she's like, how about I blow you or something like that? And he's like, gee, let me think. And then she starts giving him a blowjob.
Yeah. But we just watched
It was like, yeah, that's funny.
Probably didn't even really know what it was.
I was about like 8 years old or something.
But whereas now, I think parents now are so much more aware.
We're more looking into what they're doing
What they're
and what their
doing.
lives
We're just more
are.
involved.
Yeah, I suppose. But on the flip side, I hang out with my kids way more than my mum and dad hung out with me.
Yeah.
I think we do all
We talk
carve
a lot
out,
more
even,
as well.
You know, I mean, we're very fortunate where we fucking do nonsense like this for a living. Don't get me wrong. It is not a novelty to us. It's not something that we don't appreciate. So we do get to spend more quality time.
Yeah.
But I also think those mums and dads that are fucking working all day long as well, they do also make sure that they carve out time to spend with their children.
Yeah.
I will say something about us is that our parenting style is good cop, bad cop. And we both
Switch.
We both switch up,
Yeah.
which I think is a good thing because it's psychological warfare. because the kids never know which one's
who's going to be on this
who's
side.
going to be the good cop, bad cop. But sometimes I think it's just whoever takes the lead, whoever's at ground zero.
Whoever's involved, yeah.
Will be like, come in hard, don't do that, you can't do that, you've let me down there, da-da-da. And then they'll leave the room and then it'll either be you or me for the aftermath, which will be like, well, that wasn't great, was it?
Your dad's annoyed because he already said this and you did, and then
that, and I'm the same. I'm like, you know that, mate. You know that pisses your mum off, and it's not fair. Everything she does for you, all of us. I'm always saying that as well. All us boys. If
you're gonna fuck this up for me,
yeah, all right.
If she leaves,
we've got a fucking good thing going here. All right. How many times have you cleaned the toilet while we've been here? Me neither. All right. Just fucking keep her sweet. All right. That's the name of the game.
Yeah, thank you.
A little bit of a serious chat there, I thought, from the Buckleys.
Yeah. We're not just idiots. Thank you to Molly.
Yeah.
For that.
Hey, if you've got any themes or if you've got any rituals, which I should have brought up earlier, make sure you get in touch with your stories and questions by emailing the Buckleys at platformmedia.uk or message us at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Have we bored people enough, do you think, this week for 1 week?
No, I don't think so.
I think we've bored people enough. I think it's time to say our goodbyes. That's it for this week's episode of the Buckleys. Thank you ever so much for listening or watching.
It was a boring episode.
I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. I thought it was our... Hey, we can talk about parenting. We've got two of them who've been parents for a long time. Jesus Christ. So hang on. No, something's just hit me there.
Go on, what happened?
Our eldest is
13.
13, right?
14 this year.
Yeah. So in 10 years' time, we would have been parents longer than we'd have been not parents. That just seems a bit awful to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just throwing that in there for you, Claire, just to bring you down. Thank you ever so much for listening. Do get in touch with us with your stories and questions. Our email is thebuckleys@platformmedia.uk. And of course, you can message us at the Buckleys Pod on Instagram and TikTok. Don't forget to follow and subscribe on Spotify or whatever podcast app you use. And if you are an absolute legend, if you could do us a solid, leave us a review, a good review. And we'd appreciate that. And you can also comment on Spotify, and I like going through those comments. There's some funny stuff going on in the comments, so keep that coming. That's all brilliant. It all helps us. It does loads of stuff, good stuff for us, and we do appreciate it. It does. It does. It does.
James, I'm just listening to you like everybody else.
I know you hate this. You're always like, stop begging.
I've never said that.
No, you say it to me.
No, I don't.
All right. Well, why have you never said you can get in touch and stuff like that? You never say any of that because you can't.
I don't mind getting in touch. Obviously, I want them to get in touch.
The reviews are important. Reviews are important. They help us out. They help.
Look, I didn't say anything. I'm just sitting here listening to you.
I can hear what you're saying. I can hear the brain working. All right. Anyway, goodbye, everyone. All that's left is for Claire to say.
See you next Thursday.
That was it. That was another podcast, another episode done. What one was that? That was number 14. Jesus Christ. Thank you.